Hey guys, it's Kelly. Mari and I are back today with another challenge. This is our last challenge for the year, and we are going to be doing the highlights of 2016. I'm not sure if she did the year 2016 as well, but it was just basically a year in review. And I've only done this one other time, and I must say that I really enjoyed this, and I am going to probably go back and do it for a few more years as well. So I pulled out one of my Felicity Jane kits for this layout, and I used the Impact font on my laptop, brought in the font into my Silhouette software and used the numbers and cut out the numbers and then backed them with some papers that I chose from a couple of the kits. Now, if you do not have a Silhouette, you can still do this. You can still use the same font. You can print it off as big as you want on your printer and then cut out around it and trace it and cut it with a craft knife. Or you can reverse the images and print on the backs of your paper and then cut out around your numbers and then flip them over. I'm not sure if that makes sense. If you want to do this and you don't have a Silhouette and you have a question, feel free to leave me a comment and I'll try to explain it as best as I can. So when I was doing this layout, I have seen several different layouts on an angle, and I thought that it would be fun, especially with this one, to do something a little bit different. I ended up choosing 8 pictures, and I didn't do one from each month. What I did was basically just look through some of the big things that happened and just printed those off in 2x2 photos and just was going to take it from there. I am going to do a little bit of journaling, but not a lot of journaling. I just wanted this to be like just a caption of the year. I do pretty well with journaling on my layouts, so I didn't really feel the need to journal extensively on this layout. So the pictures that I chose are of my kids on their first day of school this year, my daughter's confirmation, our 18th anniversary, a trip we took to Ocean City, Maryland, a beach family portrait, softball because that's where we live, marching band, and then the one that I'm messing with now is one that of my workspace. I just was able to go back to work on a very part-time basis doing anesthesia. I have been out for a few years with a back injury, so this was a pretty big deal for me. So I decided that I want to mat these photo strips, and I'm trying to figure out which papers that I want to use. And I end up using 2 papers that are solids. She ends up calling them cardstock, but they are not cardstock weight. They are the weight of a pattern paper. And these are cut aparts or just some of the other embellishments from the Christmas kit. And I'm just going through, and what I am doing is pulling out any words that I think are appropriate, hearts, that kind of thing, just to kind of get a feel for where I want the layout to go. So this is where I am backing those 2 photo strips. One is going to be that pale blue, and it is the same color blue as in that wood grain number 1. And I just like that repetition. And then this is the pale pink, which is actually the polka dot of the 0. So I am going to stagger these a little bit and overlap them. And I'm going to put a couple of the tags in the upper left hand side, and I really like the way that looks. And I just went through, and the November kit, I can't remember the name of it, but it has a family theme, and so I threw that in with my Christmas stuff from that Felicity Jane kit, and I'm just pulling out some of the things that I either would like to see on the page, or that would work well, or that just the colors will match. So I'm not quite sure exactly how this page is going to look at this moment. I just know that I'm liking how it's coming together. And since I can't make up my mind, I'm going to go and do something that I knew that I wanted to do pretty much right away. And that is, I'm going to stitch around the numbers. So in just a second, you're going to see that I have already stitched around the holes. I've stitched the holes around the numbers, and I'm going to choose which thread. Now, I didn't have a black embroidery floss, and that's going to be fixed on my next trip to Michael's. And but I did have a dark gray, and I decided that I was going to do the dark gray, or at this point what I'm doing is I'm just doing a few stitches in the dark gray because I wanted to see if that was going to be too much or if I was going to really like that, because that rose die cut that I want to use has some of that dark gray outline with the leaves, and when I put it next to it, I really liked the way that it pulled in that color, and it also really helped define the numbers. So what a difference it makes. Huge difference. And you know, I had contemplated white, and white would have been a beautiful choice as well, but I really wanted that to stand out and really be prominent as my title. So these little roses were also cut aparts from that sheet. I'll often sit in front of the TV and just fussy cut some of these things while I'm watching TV. So a lot of times I don't do those on camera. The highlights are puffy stickers, and thankfully I ended up with 2 sets of them. One of the alpha stickers was not ready when Felicity Jane, when they were sending out the kits, so she included a second set of the alphas as a thank you. And I'm so glad, because I had to go in and steal an H from the second set. And I thought briefly about, you know, making one of my H's, and then I decided that I was just going to go ahead and use it, and if I got to where I needed another H for a title, I would fix it then. And you know, there used to be a time where I would be like, nope, I cannot use all of my, I used both of the G's in one set and both of the H's on that same set. And I would have been like, I got to find another alpha. I can't use up all my letters on the first word. And you know, it's so nice to kind of let that go, because now at least I have used the alphas on a page, whereas before I would have just put them aside. So on the bottom, what I did is I typed out my so-called journaling, and what I basically just did was put first day of school in a little asterisk and confirmation with an asterisk, so that it corresponded from left to right, top to bottom. And my bottom sentence is, these are just a few of the special moments of this year. So I'm really pleased with the way that it turned out. I had a lot of fun making this. It is definitely something outside of my comfort zone, and you know, I just encourage you, if you haven't done something that is unusual for you, just do it. I mean, you really don't have anything to lose. If you don't like it, it is just paper. Rip up the photos and just toss it. And I know that that sounds like blasphemy, but how else are you going to stretch your creative self and, you know, figure out what you like if you don't try it? So you will definitely be seeing another layout from me on an angle. So I cut out some of this fussing with the twine. I fussed for entirely too long. I end up just doing a simple little loop. I like to have my tag, the reinforcers in my tags with something. I wanted to do bows, but I just really couldn't get them to work right. So I am going to take some foam and pop up just part of this rose die cut. The photo is mounted on white cardstock, which is then mounted on the pattern paper. So when you do that, it raises it up a little bit, and I didn't want it to be stuck down flat to the page. So I'm going through my little foam scraps and just seeing what will fit in the little sections and where I can just glue it on. So I like the way that that cluster works. There's another kid behind my son, and it's the perfect thing to cover up that kid. And you know, now all of the attention on that photo is of my son. And you know, it's nice when you can make your embellishments work double time for you, not only to make your page pretty, but to obscure something that doesn't necessarily add to your page. So I'm playing around with these word strips, thinking that I really want to use that one. That black and white one says together, the white with black words says memories, but I end up not using either one, and I go for that flare badge that says love. And again, you'll see me just messing around with these, trying to figure out where I can put them. So I decided that I thought that if I backed my layout, it would really make it pop. And I pulled out the 2 black papers, and I really wanted to use that black and white gingham, but when I put the black and white diagonal stripe down, or actually it may not be black, it's more of a grayish, a darker gray. When I put that down, it just really popped. So I wanted to make sure that the diagonal lines went in the same direction as my, I guess, lines of the layout. And I love this paper, so I am going to gut it. There is no way that I'm going to back that entire piece of paper, that put my layout on that entire piece of paper without gutting it. I cannot waste paper that is some of my favorites. So excuse my PJs. It has, been Christmas time. It has been crazy around here, and I had to scrap when I had the moment, and that involved not waking up people, not showering, that kind of thing. Sometimes some of my best creative time is in the morning when everyone else is asleep. So again, I'm just going to make sure that the horizontal or the diagonal stripes are going in the direction of my layout. And because I wanted this to lay flat, I decided to put it over on the bottom and just let the paper kind of fall back into place without having to try to line it up, and that worked beautifully. So this is pretty much it for me. I do add a few enamel dots. Be sure and check out Mari's video and see what she did with this inspiration, and I hope that you guys join us with this. We do have a little Facebook group. It's pretty small, but if you want to join it, we'd love to have you. I think that it's Scrap the Challenge. This is really bad. I'm blanking out on it. I will link it in the details section below, and we'd love for you to play along with the challenges. If you have an idea for a challenge you would like to see us do, please, again, leave us a comment. We have a blast with this. Some of my favorite layouts that I've made this year are ones that I have done with these challenges. It's sometimes things that I wouldn't necessarily do on my own, but again, that's sometimes what makes the best page. So thanks again. I hope that you have a happy new year, and I will see you soon. Take care. Thanks so much. Bye.